Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another review brought to you by the Bourbon Brothers. My name is Gaven.
And my name is Jeff.
We know it's been a little while since our last video, but we're glad to be back with you. Today we're going to be reviewing Jefferson's Ocean, but first we're going to talk about our new location for a second.
Yep, I've recently purchased a house with my wife, and we are usually at Gaven's, but today and in the future we'll be going back and forth, but today we're here at my new house, so it's been keeping me, busy of late, getting everything situated, moved in, and so forth. But we're glad to be back with you to provide some great review today.
All right, Jeff, thanks. And also, this is Jefferson's Ocean Voyage number 3, so batch number 3. It's 90 proof bourbon whiskey, and that age statement is around 6 to 8 years old.
What they do is they take the bourbon that is 6 to 8 years old before they put it on the ship, and then they put it on the ship and age it at sea for, I think it's about 6 months, just to clear that up. But this particular batch, Voyage 3, has been to 5 continents and crossed the equator 4 times. So it's pretty world traveled, if you will.
Certainly, and we're definitely going to see that in the nose and the taste and the finish of this bourbon. So definitely an exciting product, something we've been trying to try for a while, and glad we were able to get our hands on Voyage number 3. So without further ado, Jeff, let's take a look at the color for a second.
Yeah, this is it's a little white, probably like a bronze maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
A little golds, not too dark, but a nice color.
Yes, beautiful. All right, Jeff, let's take a nose, shall we? A certain airiness we're getting to this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the age at sea, the theme of ocean certainly I think does come through in the nose. You get some sort of some baking spices, cinnamons,
right?
Almost
definitely some sweetness as well, along with some dark fruits.
Yep. I think some like brown sugary sweetness to it. I think is sort of what rather than like your typical caramel vanilla.
Right, a little bit of toffee as well.
Dark sweetness to it.
Yeah, very nice nose, and almost kind of rum-like in a sense as well.
Yeah, I think it does share some characteristics with rum.
All right, well, hey, let's take a taste, shall we? Cheers.
Cheers.
Very unique. There's a general saltiness to this.
Yeah, definitely the whole taste is within the framework of salt. It is unlike another bourbon I've had. I do really like it. Yeah, there's just salt sort of is permeates the other flavors in it.
Right, certainly. On the nose we had kind of like a caramel and toffee. This is kind of transforming that into like a salted caramel.
Yeah, you get sort of like a rum raisin type, some more of that rum flavor that we got on the nose, a little bit of raisin.
Right, still getting some of that baking spice. These are all fairly lighter flavors. That salt, though, is definitely strong on the palate. And it's, start to finish, the salt's not going away.
Yeah, I mean, it's, it's definitely there from time to finish. It's
very cool to see how that environment plays, on aging of some whiskey. It's been on a boat for a few months after aging in barrels, like the normal process, so you're getting all that swishing and sloshing around in the barrels, whereas a normal rickhouse is just kind of sitting still in the barrel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely, the environment, I think, plays a big role in the overall outcome of the bourbon. You're starting to see some distilleries try to, alter environments to see how that affects it, and I think this is definitely a great experiment, if you will, to see how the environment, different temperature shifts, different climates plays into the overall taste profile of the bourbon. Right,
so on the finish, at first I thought it was a quick finish, and now I realize it's kind of a two-part finish, which is fairly unique and enjoyable. Initially, the sweetness and the caramel and some of that spice is fairly quick, and it's gone now, but I'm still getting that saltiness and kind of like a dryness to it that lingers. Yeah,
there's like a second layer, if you will, to the finish. The first one, the typical bourbon, more typical bourbon flavors, they're there, they're a little short, but then you get that salty dryness that just sort of stays around for a long time.
Yeah, there's a very unique complexity to this bourbon whiskey. So let's talk about the rating for Jefferson's Ocean Voyage number 3. Jeff, what is your Bourbon Brothers rating for this?
I think for me, I really like this bourbon. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think maybe one thing that affected my taste was the fact that I had ice in my bourbon, which is how I prefer. You know, I prefer my bourbon with ice. But you know, that could have, you know, brought out some more flavors. Maybe deadened, if you will, the salt a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this too. I think it's a very good bourbon whiskey. Certainly a unique experience. I prefer my bourbons neat, without adding ice or water. So I think it was a little too salty for my taste. I think I will still give it an 85. A very good bourbon.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for watching another review brought to you by the Bourbon Brothers. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, like the video, and subscribe to our blogs and Twitter accounts. You can find those links below. Cheers.
Cheers.